All our times have come. Here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Valentine is done. Here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and Juliet and women every day. And Juliet and women every day. Like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la. Love of two is one. Here, but now they're gone. Came the last night of sadness, and it was clear that you couldn't go on. And the door was open and the wind appeared. The candles blew then disappeared. The curtains flew and he appeared. Don't be afraid. Come on, baby. She had no fear. She to him and they start to fly. They look backwards and say goodbye. She had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby. Don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly. La open and the wind appeared. The candles lit and disappeared. The curtain was lit and he appeared. Don't be afraid. Come on, baby. She had no shoes. She him when the stars to fly. He looked backwards and said goodbye. She had become like they are. She had become like they are. Come on, baby. Feel the rebirth. Able to fly.
Good evening, everybody. What a day! What a day this has been. I don't even want to tell you how it started, but it started pretty nicely, and it's still there. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, yeah, it's Friday Night Live, and I'll tell you what, man. Watching that court, you know, you go live and you wait for like 6 hours, and then it was an 8-hour show yesterday, and most of it was garbage, in my opinion. My own show, yeah. But we did get to watch the court, and a lot of surprising stuff in there. There's no doubt about it. Some surprising stuff, and I want to put out a couple things here quick, like if I can find them, just to show you what's going on out there. Where are they? Why is there? Did I bring it up here? Jesus, I must have brought it up here. All right. So check this out right here.
What I think is it's a wrong ruling, and media organizations should sue, because you can't just close a courtroom. I mean, federal law, state law, but mostly federal law under the First Amendment, we have open courtrooms. Yes, in certain juvenile cases and things like that. But 99% of the time, you just can't shut the courtroom doors. And the judge did it under this theory of, well, we're going to be talking about evidence that if it gets out there, it could taint the jury, a future jury. Well, if that's the reasoning, then you would basically close every criminal hearing before trial. Because, of course, you're going to hear evidence that might not be admissible at trial, and some potential juror could hear it. That's why you go through jury selection. You try to weed out those people. So closing the courtroom is ridiculous. Additionally, it violates Idaho's victim laws. A victim has rights. Victim families have rights in Idaho, as with all states. And 19.5306 under Idaho law says that victims can be in all court proceedings. Actually, in Idaho, they say they could be even in juvenile proceedings.
I had to put that out there, and I do have to say hi in my crime family. I'm telling you right now, there's no way I'm going to get to everybody here. Hello, Simply So, good to see you. Kane B, the Purge, good to see you. Kane B is going to be on here on the 21st or 28th or something. Yeah, so that's cool, man. Yeah, I like that. Debbie Gazzardo, my girl, good to see you. Meanie, good to see you. Crime Spy 24, good to see you. Woke Up 1984, good to see you. Deborah Lynn, my girl, good to see you. Teresa R, good to see you. Mark and Betty, good to see you. Love Tina, my girl, good to see you. Albert, good to see you. Rome, good to see you. Joey, my brother, good to see you. Randy, my brother, good to see you. Leah Story, my girl, good to see you. Thomas, my brother, good to see you. I'm not going to make it. Caroline Quidley, good to see you. Natural, my girl, good to see you. yeah, just hello to everybody out there, and thank you very much, and to the chatters and to all the non-chatters. Welcome to Once Upon a Crime Time, and I'm your host, Tommy Jude. I love you guys too. Yeah, it's going fast tonight. If it goes too fast, mods, you can slow it down. If it gets going too fast. So, what did everybody think of the hearing yesterday? I'd like to see what everybody thought about it. I'm going to show some stuff on it here. That was hi, Miss Girl, good to see you. Lanny, good to see you. Circus Music, good to see you, girl. I got, we find out things like there's a handprint on the railing, unknown handprint. Then we hear about one of the victims supposed to have ran downstairs and ran upstairs. Then we got crying in the bathroom. Then we have a bloody glove. We didn't know it was a bloody glove out there. So yeah, it's just crazy shit in that hearing yesterday. And yeah, Tina, I wasn't real happy with him yesterday, but I think he really needs to think about this, Franks. He's got a lot on his mind. As you heard, that guy saying there that, the hearings should be open, all of them. It should be open, and Brian Kohlberger wants them open. And what are they hiding? What are they hiding? Oh, to protect. They're using the guise of not to taint the jury. Guess what? It's already been tainted. How are they going to find with this case in small little Idaho? How are they going to find somebody that doesn't keep up with this case? There's not going to be many people out there. It's already tainted, and it's tainted in the wrong way. And all Aaron Taylor's trying to do is even it out a little bit, and she gets called out on it. When all she's trying to do is even it up. Start from zero, not from negative 90 or something. You start from zero. Yeah, that's a tough one, Mark and Betty. Yeah, it's tainted in the wrong way. It's tainted in the wrong way. Here, I'm going to show you another thing from Court TV here. They actually had, and I recommend going to see this show. I recommend watching this, because it is really good. And what's this guy's name now? I can't think on top of my head, but he actually makes some pretty good points. And here's one of them right here.
All of the court filings and everything online. I want you to take a look at that docket right now, because you're going to notice something really interesting about it as we watch it. Okay, look really closely. Order to seal, 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 order to seal. They're sealing everything. Not everything, but
order to seal, order to seal, order to seal, order to seal. That's fucking ridiculous.
Documents. They've even closed the courtroom doors to have sealed hearings. Now,
tell me that ain't crazy, folks. Tell me that ain't crazy. What are they hiding? What do they want to hide? It's to protect the case. You already put a bunch of bullshit out there. No, you're trying to protect everything else. They're trying to protect LE from all the lies and the IGG, and they're trying to stuff and ram this shit down Brian Kohlberger's throat. You can't hear me. You can hear me, right? You just couldn't hear that one video very well. You should be able to hear me good, Kim. I'm going to try to keep up with chat, but this looks, I'm going to have a hard time. So, telling you that right now. Okay, so we got that. I did those. No, and here's another one. Okay, and this is the last one.
So if the IGG gets thrown out, do we get into the world, and I'm going to say it, I know it's from law school, but it's for real. We only have a couple seconds here. Is this, and just a yes or no, is it potentially fruit of the poisonous tree that everything that followed must get thrown out, which could throw out the arrest, the probable cause here? Is it, just give me a yes or no, because we're really short on time. David, you first.
You get an A on the bar exam. The fruit of the poisonous tree will be exactly what the defense argues here, to throw out the DNA if there is a constitutional right of privacy in someone else's DNA.
All right, we're out of time for tonight, but I'm going to be calling on both.
The fruit of the poisonous tree. So, and this is on Court TV. So, yeah, go watch that, because it's like 48 minutes long or something like that. But I actually found, usually I get riled up with Court TV and I get mad at them, but I didn't. I thought it was a well done. So yeah. So anyway, let's get on with the show here. We're gonna show some stuff. Let me see here. I gotta make sure I got some stuff right. Got to make sure I got it right. Oh, come on. Okay, so I'm getting there, folks. I'm getting there. Clicking on the wrong thing doesn't help matters. Okay, so this is from that Sherlock Holmes that I ran yesterday. Everything should be in the description. I also got a treat for you tonight. That video I played of my song, I'm going to be playing what that video really goes with, and I'm working with this person, and I'm going to show you this, and he's going to be working on a video for the song, which would be the official video for it. It did finally go internationally on the 23rd, yesterday. It finally made it. So anyway, but yeah, so I'm going to be showing that, which is really special. And then I got a couple of other special things lined up. This is from that Sherlock Holmes. And let me see here. And I thought this was, you see what I mean? Check it out.
Are we ready to go live?
For the other thing, I think that the court is asking me to take a position where it feels like burden shifting to me.
No, I'm trying to understand the legal argument and how this is different from example from latent fingerprints.
Well, Your Honor, I think that things like latent fingerprints and like CODIS, there's statutes about CODIS in Idaho, about what's allowed in CODIS. This is a different search. This isn't an STR search.
There's statutes about CODIS in Idaho, about what's allowed in CODIS. This is a different search.
Look at that. Look at that.
isn't an STR search.
That's what happens in CODIS. This is a different
So
search.
I'm going now to, I'm sorry, the constitutionality of using
Why
the
would he be?
DNA that
It
was
sounds like
allegedly on the knife sheath. And because I understand your argument is twofold. One, your client complains that a search was done of databases of other people to determine whether or not any of them might be related to the person who left the DNA on the knife sheath.
I'm talking about the next set of moves that are super secret that happen when there's a portion of the DNA taken and it's searched by Othram to create a SNP. And then when that doesn't produce anything, the FBI says, okay, here we go. Let's search the SNP ourselves. If the court's theory that this is a lawful piece of evidence taken from the crime scene, the sheath.
My theory.
Regardless of what the FBI did or didn't do in terms of violating the terms of service, no one has a reasonable expectation.
Is it different if they share it with the company and it's obtained by lawful process from that company versus going in the back window and taking it?
No, Your Honor, because right now what we're asking is not reasonableness of the search. Right now what we're asking is there even a reasonable expectation of privacy? And so the fact that no one has a reasonable expectation of privacy in those databases means that even if the FBI violated those terms of service, no one has a Fourth Amendment right to complain, and certainly Mr. Koberger doesn't. He has not asserted factually or through evidence that he was a customer to one of these databases. And maybe that changes the case if he were, but he's not. He's not even claiming that. He's not even asserting it. Now, I do want to address the second part of the court's question about the FBI has indicated that they wouldn't do this. I believe that's a reference to the policy we've been discussing, the interim policy by the DOJ. I certainly do not speak for the Department of Justice. I do not work for the FBI.
For $12, you can upload that profile and find out all kinds of personal health information. And think about HIPAA. I mean, that we all have to sign those forms every time we go to the doctor if we want anything released to our surgeon. Health matters are important. If you can upload one of these profiles for $12 and find out all kinds of information, how is that not a Fourth Amendment issue? That's what that SNP profile can do. And that was done twice without a warrant in this case. And there should have been a warrant. It violates Fourth Amendment rights, Article 1, Section 17 rights, and this must be suppressed.
Thank you.
Because that's intentionally withheld from the affidavit because of the work the FBI did, because they kept no records, produced no records, and did this all behind closed doors, and it was withheld from the magistrate. Had the judge heard about that, signing probable cause, that would have been really important to understand. We don't know this name. We heard it for the first time now, and we only know it because we violated our own policy to find that. That may have given the judge caution. It may have made the judge wonder what else are they doing behind the scenes. But that was withheld from the judge. That judge never got to know that. Let's talk about what the judge did get to know with that in mind. And that's a really important backdrop.
And when a magistrate's looking at this, they have a direct DNA.
That's a good point, Ashley K. Very good point.
A match to a person from a object associated, likely associated with a murder weapon. I'm not yet a magistrate, would not find that probable cause.
The magistrate had the other facts. I think the magistrate would have some serious concerns and would not find probable cause. Your Honor, the vehicle, and I know the court knows what I'm going to say. There's not DNA in that vehicle that was brought out from a crime scene. This absolutely matters, Your Honor. If you want to go to the state's theory right, with their videos that they've talked about, that they told the magistrate about, that this is the video, this is what matters. It parks at this certain time, it leaves at this certain time.
As discussed more extensively in the state's response, we have several Idaho cases that support this.
We have several Idaho cases that support this.
State v. Rubio, State v. Gomez, State v. Alger. And in our case, the probable cause affidavit, it wasn't as if the judge wasn't put on notice that this was exactly what was happening. The judge was put on notice. Each affidavit explicitly told the magistrate, blank officer, depending on who was applying for it, quote, is being assisted by members of the Idaho State Police and agents of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Throughout the document, it makes references. I consulted with FBI Vehicle Specialist S.A. Imel. I consulted with FBI S.A. Balance regarding CAST. We had Special Agent Hill confirm, and he discovered this as Bates 15990, which confirms that the surveillance camera that was set up to capture motion would not have captured the corner the defendant says must have been necessarily captured. Again, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the defendant's speculation about the route of travel and their differing opinion on it isn't the basis for a Franks hearing. There's no legal basis for second guessing a vehicle specialist's opinion. And they haven't made a substantial or a sufficient proffer for you to do that. Next, the briefing addresses the IgG issue.
Is it possible to tell from the affidavit what shots and what cameras were relied upon to make the identification?
I know that I don't know that you needed to. I don't know that all of that information had to be included.
That wasn't my question. My question is whether the affidavit describes the specific shots and cameras relied upon to make the identification.
No. It discusses that several surveillance videos were reviewed, that images were turned over to a vehicle specialist, and then that specialist made a determination. But no, we didn't walk through describing each and every still image or video.
It's kind of the same thing that's laying on pretty thick here. You can't have it. We're not going to tell you about it, but don't worry, we didn't do anything wrong. And that's a problem. That's a theme of this case, and that's really a problem. And that's a problem. That's a theme of this case, and that's really a problem. So I think we should have
that again.
It's kind of the same thing that's laying on pretty thick here. You can't have it. We're not going to tell you about it, but don't worry, we didn't do anything wrong. And that's a problem. That's a theme of this case, and that's really a problem.
That's a theme of this
case. I think we should have
case.
Frank's hearing to explore what that really is about, if for nothing.
And think about that for a minute. That's a theme of this case. That's a theme of this case. You can't get any more blunt of what she's trying to say. You can't.
Omission or the misstatement that as it relates to the Amazon warrant.
The omission is the FBI used the grand jury system and obtained this information outside of the warrant process. But for some reason, we need to come and get a warrant because nobody gets to. I have them in other cases, Judge. I don't know why they're withheld here. It makes me really suspicious.
Well, I mean, I guess from a Frank's perspective, though, the question is there a material intentional misstatement or a reckless misstatement?
From Frank's perspective, was it material? Well, it was relied on to get the warrant, right? The 7 minutes that's not disclosed, that's intentional, but that's not given to the magistrate to make the decision. There are a lot of these things that are intentional withholdings and a lot of things that are deliberate. You heard a lot earlier today about the hours of meetings that took place and the decisions to keep certain things secret. So I think we've satisfied the prong of deliberate and intentional withholding from the magistrate or deliberate false statements to the magistrate on all of those areas. I want to talk only about a couple of other things. The credibility of the witness they talked to, the one that they cited information from, that was relied on. That appears in these affidavits, and it's relied on after Mr. Koberger's identified to say, well, he has bushy eyebrows, so this person has to be right. It's relied on when the police officers put into the affidavit the footprint that I didn't talk about on my first one. We gave the court the photographs of it. I'm happy to give the court these. That's a misleading statement to the court or to the magistrate that was asked for probable cause. This footprint is at the very edge of the door. It's a single footprint and it's not repeated throughout the house. So to act like that bolsters this witness is really important, especially in context of the misstatements of the witness.
Okay, so we have one latent footprint. Somebody must have been hopping, right? Hopping on one foot. There's no others in the house. They were hopping around on one leg. What the fuck?
Yes. I want to go through these. I won't read them in their entirety to the court, but Your Honor asked the prosecutor what they were, and I counted up, and at the very first interview, remember the issue was whether or not one of the victims ran downstairs, and she didn't say it once. She said it 4 times in a row in the very first interview, and that just didn't happen. It just couldn't have happened. And that was not told. In fact, that statement was brushed over and withheld from the magistrate. About the memory issues in the second interview the same day, there are 2 references to not remembering. A couple of days later, there's the third interview, and there's references to not remembering, being drunk, a statement, I don't know any of it. Like half this stuff. I don't know if it's a dream or if it's real. That's at page 399. At page 406, I don't know if this was real or in my mind was just like playing with me. But from what I think I heard, someone was crying in the bathroom. These are definite statements that were not given to the magistrate and in fact were brushed over. And credibility is really, really important when that person is relied on in the investigation. The way it's laid out would cause one to think that the vehicle's identified on the camera near the house, and that's not so. It's not identifiable. The state's expert said it's not identifiable from that particular video. It's piecing together the other videos that they come up with something.
What's the evidence that law enforcement relied on the Ridge Road footage to identify the vehicle?
What did they rely on?
What's the evidence that they relied on Ridge Road, which you say doesn't show anything? What's the evidence they relied on that to ID the vehicle?
They relied on the Ridge Road camera, and you can see that in the emails from IMO and the other law enforcement officers when they say they have Paradise Creek Road, and then they say we finally got a good one, and it produced to us is the 1125 Ridge Road footage and photograph, and that's the only one that you can make a positive ID on the car.
Where is that in the record?
Well, it's in our discovery. A partial picture was decided upon. A picture left out a lot of detail, a picture that gave false statements to the magistrate to get probable cause to get that first AT&T warrant. That was, the officers went back and forth talking about what kind of statements to use. Statements were changed to be included in that, and definite decisions were made at that time. The decision was made to.
Okay, Coco, that's a good point. Missing 7 minutes would make it 19 or 20 minutes, same as 4chan. Now, isn't that odd? Are they trying to, the missing 7 minutes, they take it away so it wouldn't match 4chan's timing? Do you know what I mean? Excuse me. I mean, I find that quite odd, actually. I never thought of that. That's a good one, Coco. Yeah. Missing 7 minutes would make it 19 or 20 minutes, same as 4chan.
Leave the witnesses' statements in as they were, even though there had been interview after interview after interview, and they knew those were incorrect. The decision was made to build a false investigation and leave out the super secret IGG part. And that decision was made based on the behavior of the agents and based on not wanting anybody to review what they did so that we could check their work and see if they did anything right. That just continued with decisions to leave things out in this case. Probable cause doesn't get determined by one little thing without context, especially when there's context of omitted information. That's why we have the opportunity for a Franks hearing, to ask for a Franks hearing and to offer information for your Honor to rely on. It is imperative that there be integrity in the warrant process. There's a lot of power in going to a magistrate and having no attorney there, nobody to cross-examine, nobody to question. There's a lot of power in that to obtain a warrant. And there's a lot of danger when there's that much power too. To leave just a little out here, to add a little more here, and go get a warrant, and then build everything that comes from that. And that's what's happened here. Your Honor, we ask for a Franks hearing to more fully explore these.
Yes, I found that quite strange watching that with Payne with his hands like that for so long. And that's what Brian does, and is Brian trying to tell us something? Is Brian actually trying to tell us something? You know, he lived in a Mason house, apartment building, right? The G is right there. The big G is right there. I wonder. I'll find you a pic. All right, I'll find you a pic because I have a picture of a meeting where they're all standing for a picture, but it's all masonry, and that logo is right there, that big G, and that's what's on his. I'm not saying it is or anything like that. I'm not trying to get into conspiracy theory stuff or anything. I just find it really odd. Yeah. But there's so many odd things about this case, you know. Yeah, this is what I want to show next. What was it? Or no, that's how okay. Yeah, never mind. That's not what I do. Get in there. Okay. Now, this one. I got to check this out for a second and start it at the right spot here. Okay. This this one didn't just piss me off. I was half crying when I watched this. And this is from Harsh. And if you're not subscribed, I'm sure you guys are, but whoever isn't subscribed, everything is in the descriptions down in my description for tonight. And this one is just unbelievable.
And I'll give you my opinion. You're gonna love this. We had our time. We shared words, and that meant something. And for a while,
he's talking about Samantha, his daughter, that he's pretty much just dropped out of his life.
Sounds like lyrics. Sounds like a song. You use it as a weapon against my children at the worst moment of our lives. When you posted a private conversation for the world to read, you crossed a line. How could we ever talk?
So this is from Steve
blackmail me with my kindness, not to just hurt me, but to hurt my children. Well, let me just put something out there. Just to say something. Some of you who have been here will remember there was a period of time where myself and Steve were a bit of loggerheads together. Because I'd reached out to Steve about an issue, rightfully or wrongfully, but I was pissed off. I was pissed off that I was getting threats. My family were being threatened because of our coverage of the Idaho 4 case. So I'd reached out to the one person who was seemingly at ground zero and was willing to talk. Simple as that. But he shared some information in that conversation that would allude to the fact that perhaps things weren't as they, you might remember. I'm not going to get into it now. But we have subsequently spoken again. So even though he was pissed off that I'd shared some information that he had spoken about in that conversation to me, we have spoken since. We're not buddies. We're not best buds. But I had shared some information to him about an online content creator who was saying some really, really disgusting, heinous things. There is a line, and that person had fucking hop, skipped, and jumped, leapfrogged over it, and we've spoken. So it does show that even though things can get shared and Steve can get pissed off, that he is willing to a stranger to still communicate with. Here, seemingly, with his own flesh and blood, he's taken it to the point where he said, how could we ever talk? Just saying. After you blackmail with me of my kindness. I never thought that was what it would come to, and knowing you're going to use this, a call or anything like that, is something to blast me out online is just impossible to work with. What you mean is you don't like the fact that Sam has a following, and if you say something out of line, she's got support. She's got online support, which stick a pin in it, because we're going to come back to that very specific element in a moment. Just know I get no pleasure, well, he's put pleasure, typo, in seeing you struggle, and the path you walk today is dark and filled with monsters you call friends. Who are these monsters? Who are these monsters? I wish you would pick up a Bible, we're going to get there in a moment, and read praying for understanding and purpose outside of yourself, learning true love is
I want to ask you, my crime family, something. You all know I lost a son to murder. He's lost a daughter to murder. How in the hell can you treat another daughter this way after losing one? And it's fresh. How in the hell can you treat? It should be unconditional love. I don't get. I could never do that to any of my children, even if wouldn't have lost Joe. Unbelievable.
Discovered in others. Oh, hold on, I missed a bit out, didn't I? The monsters you call friend. I was your friend, not TikTok clowns. Again, stick a pin in it. We're coming back. Yeah, so true love discovered in others before ourselves. Love your baby girl until she fixed your heart or fixes your heart. This is his grandchild, I think he's talking about here. I know it's quite difficult to decipher. I don't understand why you chose popularity from strangers over us. Hypocritical much? Hypocritical much. Steve and co have formed the Gonsalves Army, 60,000 plus individuals who are standing behind them on social media. Social media, all over social media with them behind them, funding them, giving them money. They are reaching out like Oliver in the film Oliver. Please, sir, can I have some more? Remember the comment. We can ask, or why shouldn't we? I know it was removed, but it was said. It was said. Why shouldn't we ask when we're in a position where we've got people around us who are willing to give us money? Why shouldn't we ask for it? Right. I can't make sense of it. But this is the choice you made, and now we're the ones who have to live with it. What? And she doesn't have to live with anything? Sam doesn't have to live with the fact that her half sister was brutally murdered. Her father, who had already fucking disowned her before all of this kicked off, is still at loggerheads with her father. For what reason? What is the true reason? Because it can't be that you're just pissed off that she's put stuff online between you two that perhaps you shouldn't have fucking said in the first place, because I was in the same position and we've still spoken afterwards. However, it isn't about me or you. We are past that, and you need to wake up, stop running around away to jungles and fight for what is right in front of you. I am truly sorry I wasn't there to help install meaningful life mission where you learned that loving yourself first is complete bullshit, because we all hate ourselves for our endless list of mistakes. However, the love we see in the eyes shining back at us remind us we can do better, and their true love of something. I can't click it. There's music on there and that'll strike me down with furious anger. Us one hug, kiss, wink at a time. Wink? That's a bit weird. Just know I don't hate you. Oh, thanks, Dad. Thanks. You don't hate me. I'm just sad you made this decision. You're the father. She's your daughter. You're her dad. Just know I don't hate you. I don't fuck me. Nevertheless, I can't give you anything
Harsh gets it. He fucking knows. Harsh gets this shit. He knows that's just fucked up.
more. Not after what you did. Every word, every moment I shared with you is just another thing you've shown me can be used to hurt the ones I love. And that's not something I can allow. So as much as it pains me to say it, I don't see any way forward from here. You've made your...
The ones I love. The ones I love. What if you were on the other end of this? What if you were the son or daughter and you were reading this from your dad, from the ones I love. In other words, you don't love me? He doesn't love her? His own daughter?
Your choice. TikTok followers over us. So who did you choose over Sam, mate? Who did you choose? Why did all this issue with Sam originally exist? Why weren't you the father that Scripture asks you to be and tells you should be? Because you're the father. And that, because you want to quote it, and we'll see it. I'm not going to read through it because it's bollocks. We can look at proper Scripture and the roles of a father and their duties as a father, and see how you've fared in that respect. Do you know what I mean? So she's chosen TikTok followers over us. You're surrounded by, this is like you
I did too,
making out that
Jay.
being surrounded by social media is a bad thing, yet you yourself are surrounded in social media and are funded by it. Maybe she's doing what you're doing. Maybe she's using her social media community as an extended family to get through the shit. Which, look, why are you doing it? Is social media to you just a financial conduit that you can see, manipulate, use, and abuse, and you don't see anything beyond that? Because that's how this reads. This reads like you don't see it otherwise in any other element as a business deal, a business situation. Or if you did see it beyond that and you saw the benefits of having a social media community around you to hug you, to give you them hugs and kisses and winks, weird stuff. Do you know what I mean? What's good for the goose is good for the gander, I'm afraid. So as much as it pains me to say, I don't see any way forward from here. Shows TikTok falls over us, and now I have to protect what matters most. My family. She's your fucking family. She's your family. You even took in and made it sound like Madison Mogan was your daughter. Madison Mogan isn't your fucking kid. Samantha's your kid. Samantha's your kid. When are you going to get it through the fucking thick skull? It's pissing me off.
Yep.
Read from Men Much Wiser Than I and start repairing the world you find yourself in. And then it just goes through all this. But let's just look, right? Just out of curiosity, what does Scripture truly say about, the role of a father? Be your child's first teacher. Fucking fail. Dads need to exemplify a good life. Scripture teaches kids who we are, how we live is like a letter from God, and our kids read that letter every day. Fail. Provide for your family. For those of you struggling to find work, don't get yourself down. This idea is more about your heart and desire. Being a father who provides covers more than rent and food. As dads, it's our responsibility to make sure our families, which is Sam, needs are addressed across the board. Be encouraged and look for ways to give to your family even when it's hard to do financially. Fail. Good dads discipline their children. That could, maybe you win that one. Dads spend time with their children. Fail. Don't even need to read that. Compassion is a dad characteristic. A father has compassion for his children. Psalm 103:13 points out. So the Lord has compassion. Fail. Put your money where your mouth is. Well, not in those exact words, but James 1:22 instructs us not to be only hearers of God's word, but doers. Fail. Don't provoke your fail. Dads never fail. Dads pray for the children. Maybe he does. I don't.
I think you get the idea. I just couldn't believe that letter to Sam. I could never write my kid a letter like that. I don't care what they did. I really don't. They could be in prison and I wouldn't write them a letter like that. That was, and I seen Jane, you were crying, and I did yesterday too. That just hit me really bad, and that's why I had to run it. I had to run this, and I usually don't run too many harsher stuff, not that I don't want to. I just main ones like this, the ones that really get to me, I will, because he's got a way of really bringing that point home, and yeah, it is very sad. It's really sad. And as far as this, I was talking about the judge. He does have a lot coming up. I mean, he's got to make his mind up on this Frank's hearing. Not just that, he's got to see where this is going. And I think he probably sees it as a problem because he doesn't realize yet that Brian Kober couldn't have done this. He doesn't realize that yet. I think his tune will change a little bit when he digs a little more. He's a busy judge. I'm sure he's got other cases. I'm sure he looks at the stuff before the hearing. But there's going to come a point in time where he steps back and go, wait a minute, this is too much. This is too, and it's already getting there. It's already getting there. You got one hop along footprint. You got one handprint on a railing. You have different stories coming out. That's what's in the PCA. It's just a bunch of bullshit. I hope he doesn't make it more bullshit. Brian's had enough bullshit, and we've had enough bullshit. We don't need any more bullshit. We've heard it all. We've seen it all from this court and from the LE and Bill Thompson, and we've had enough. Enough of the bullshit. Yeah, exactly, Thomas. Yeah, he's got a lot on his head right now. He does. He's got a lot on his head right now, and he's gonna have to dig into this case. He's gonna have to dig into this case, and he's got to be able to put this together and say this is and at least grant that Frank's hearing. And actually, is that what I got? Yeah. And we're going to go to one of my favorites again. And this is Kathy's Indie Zone. She put this 4 hours. She put this out 4 hours ago. And hear what Kathy has to say. Kathy's Indie Zone. It's in the description. Right here is Kathy's Indie Zone. And make sure you go subscribe and like up. And this is called Clues the Court May Possibly Grant a Frank's Hearing. She is a very smart gal, so let's take a listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Indie Zone. My name is Kathy. At the end of 2 days of he acted before Judge Stephen Hippler, the court thanked the parties for their time and their attention. And then he stated words to the effect of, I don't know if I'm going to grant a Frank's hearing or not, but email me dates of your availability within the next 3 weeks. We have done multiple prior presentations on the Indie Zone podcast, as well as here on YouTube, on what a Frank's hearing is. If you have not had an opportunity to do so, please listen to those prior presentations, because this is such an important issue to both sides, whether or not Judge Hippler does not grant Mr. Kohberger a Frank's hearing. Briefly, the term Frank's hearing is named after an important United States Supreme Court case of Jerome Franks versus Delaware. And what that motion, what a Frank's motion does, is it challenges the truthfulness, the veracity, the legality of a warrant affidavit, an affidavit that is sworn under penalty of perjury by law enforcement to obtain a warrant. Over the course of the past few days, there have been so many matters that have happened in this case. We've seen the return of the media coalition, and to address the hearings of the 23rd and 24th, which would be conducted behind closed doors, closed to the public, which would be open to the public. Ultimately, a schedule was set up, and it was determined that certain matters related to witness testimony, for not just that motion to suppress, but also potentially for a Frank's hearing, which is rather unusual, because testimony and live evidence like that does not usually happen until or unless a Frank's hearing is granted. But what the court said in his explanation was, I don't want to have it assumed that just because we're taking this testimony that there will be a Frank's hearing. But once that testimony is out there, it's like toothpaste out of the tube, as they say in litigation. It's information that's out there. So that was a sign that the court, at least in my opinion, which I give pursuant to the First Amendment, was thinking seriously about granting this motion. We had the hearings that went ahead, and for the court to say, provide me with dates in public, as he did within the next 3 weeks, I thought might be another clue that perhaps he's leaning towards granting this hearing, because how things go, especially a high-profile case like this, where the court has acknowledged that there's not just local attention in Idaho, there's national attention and also international attention. The court could have just had his judicial assistant email the attorneys and say, just provide me with a few dates in the next 3 weeks for a potential hearing. This is not to say the court's granting it, but just give me a few dates. For Judge Hippler himself to say it in open court like that, knowing that there was enormous interest in the case and that many, many ears would hear him, I thought was rather unusual. But what I want to do is to return to what I call the blueprint for our case of Idaho versus Kohberger, governing further criminal proceedings and notice of trial setting. This is the pre-trial and trial order that Judge Hippler put out in October that scheduled the hearings that you've been watching or listening or been talking about on the 23rd and the 24th of January. Those hearings were set. The dates were within this filing. This tells us that for Dyer, which I believe is the official start of this trial, That is, the process of jury selection will occur July 30th at 9:00 a.m. If we go through this document, you'll see that it sets deadlines such as some of the things that have already happened. The DP motions, they were filed, the court entertained them at oral argument, and he submitted rulings. All of those, as you recall, were denied. Then we see the discovery motions. There was a discovery motion that was entertained today by Judge Stephen Hippler. There were multiple ICR Rule 12 motions. These are the multiple suppression motions that have been pending since the end of 2024, November 14th, to be exact, because this order told us that the motions, the initiating papers, were due November 14th. The responses by the state were due December 6th. And then the replies were due December 20th. So that was the briefings. That's when they were closed. And then you see the hearings were set for the 23rd, and if necessary, continuing into the 24th at 9 a.m., which has happened. In looking back and looking forward now, what is coming up due in the next 3 weeks? Which brings us up to the middle part of February. We see right away that motions in limine are due February 10th, 2025. Responses, March 3rd. Replies, March 17th, and a hearing on the motions will be held on April 3rd and continuing on to the next day, similar to what we saw with the Rule 12 ICR motions, if necessary. So we are rapidly approaching trial, and what needs to happen for this case to be prepared for trial? What is a motion in limine? Now, we know that a motion is an application for a court order. So this blueprint, this pretrial and trial order, tells us that both sides are to submit their motions in limine by February 10th. That is the deadline. And then the state and the defense file their responses to each other's motions in limine, and then the same with the replies. A motion in limine is Latin. It literally means motion at the start, and that is trial. They are used pre-trial, and it is basically to seek an order from the court that something should be kept out of the case. So this is different from what you just saw with the motions to suppress evidence that's relevant to the case, that has been brought through discovery to the defense's attention, such as the motion in limine to prevent certain records, data from Apple, Amazon, to come into the case. This is something entirely different, and it may not be related to any of the evidence regarding this case at all. It may be something else. Let's just say if someone had a prior conviction, if that conviction for substances is deemed to be possibly prejudicial, there might be too much prejudice if the jury were to hear that the defendant in another type of a case, such as for burglary or armed robbery, was convicted for substances. That might be the topic. Judge, I don't want any mention of this matter, that my client had a problem with substances, that he was arrested and he was convicted, the trial for using substances. That might be a topic for the motion in limine. So it's something that will never be discussed while the jury is present and always has to be discussed before the case. You've got to go in, you got to file the motion, you got to make the application for the court order. The court grants it, then no mention whatsoever can be made about that topic before the jury. That's how close we're getting to trial. That may be why, if he's leaning toward at least granting the hearing, why he made that statement in open court for dates within the next 3 weeks. We are going to be having a scheduled session tomorrow as a wrap up for what we learned during this really important week. In this case, a lot happened that involves not just the testimony, what you saw, the motions to suppress and to compel, but also involving the media coalition that came out of their prior position as interveners and asked to be heard as interested parties this week. Please join us for our live 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this YouTube channel. Until then, this is Kathy. Thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, Kathy always has a good eye on things, and there is a chance that there's going to be a Frank's hearing. A very good chance. How it's going to be ruled upon, that's a different story, like Thomas said. It is a death penalty case. It's a quadruple, M case. And so her arguments in the Frank's hearing are going to have to be very, very, very good. She's going to have to be on top of her game. And that's the way it could play out. You never know. If things go right and she's on top of her game, it could get, the case could get dismissed, just thrown out. But somebody stated earlier, and I'm not sure who it was, I'm sorry, that they didn't want him to get off on a technicality because it would always leave that question in people's minds, other people's minds. And I agree with that. It would leave. I want to dismiss because it shows the evidence that he could not have done it. And again, I will state this. If that happens, it will become a cold case because they will not go after the people that really did this. I think their mind has been made up about that a very, very, very long time ago. Yeah. Anyway, Kathy always has something good to say. Again, that's Kathy's Indie Zone. Everything I have that I've done so far is down in the description on my video, on the live stream here. And you know what? That's what I got for tonight. I'm going to take it easy on the rest of the night. I do want to explain. I'm going to show, let me see. Oh, wait now here. Let me show this. If I can find this. And if I do find it, let's see here. Yes. Okay. I ran my song with this video. and I'm going to run the real song with the same video, because that's what it belongs with. And the gentleman that made this video is working with me to make a video for my song that just got released internationally. And his channel is called Ruthless Beauty. So I'm telling you, go check out some of his stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing music and amazing videos. It's an AI band that he created, and it's pretty dang cool. And so I'm going to leave you first with Ruthless Beauty. Anyway, to everybody, I want to thank you all. I want to thank the chatters and the non-chatters both. I want to thank the whole family. I love you all. The subs, you are my heart, and mods, you are my soul. Until next time, rock and roll. I got some other surprise music for you tonight too. If I don't get slapped with copyrights, you know me, I'm going to run it anyway. Anyway, you guys have a great Friday evening, and I love you all.
When the world feels heavy and the nights are long, when you're searching for strength but it feels all gone, I'm the voice in the wind that you sometimes hear. I'm that steady hand that holds you up, my dear. I may not be with you in the way I hoped I'd be. Just know I am with you in every breath that you breathe. I am the light in the dark when you can't see. When all doors are locked, I am your key. When hope is not enough to get you through, I am always with you. I remember the first time I saw your face. Tears I cried knowing I would soon leave this place. Sometimes Sorry I had to go, leave you behind. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, for all your life just know, oh, I will be with I am the light in the dark when all doors are locked. I am your key when hope is not enough. I'm always with you. Don't want here, but now they're gone. Seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and Juliet, women every day. And Juliet, women every day, like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la. Love of two is one. Here, but now they're gone. Came the last night of sadness, and it was clear that you couldn't go on. And the door was open and the wind appeared. The candles blew, then disappeared. The curtains blew, then he appeared. Don't be afraid. Come on, baby. She had no fear. She glanced at him and they start to fly. They look backwards and say goodbye. She had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby. Don't fear the reaper. We'll be able to fly. La la.